Good morning, everyone. Welcome to our monthly appreciation and ancestors service. We are here today to express our gratitude to God and Sama for the protection, help, and countless blessings we have received this past month, and to ask permission to serve the divine plan for this coming month. Let us begin our monthly service with the presentation of offerings to God. Please pray along silently while we have the opening prayer to God.
Great God of light, with our deepest respect, we have gathered here at the Miroku Association to celebrate our monthly appreciation and ancestor service. We humbly offer you our prayers of praise and appreciation for the protection, help, and countless blessings we have received this past month, and to ask for permission, guidance, and inspiration to serve in your divine work of the construction of paradise on earth. Please accept the materialization of our gratitude through our in-person and online presence, our monetary offerings, and by our guiding relatives and friends. Please give us strength and wisdom to practice this year's guidelines in our everyday life. Based on the sacred teachings and pragmatism of Meishu Sama, let us engage in our practices of faith by intensifying our dedication through Jorei, through donations of gratitude, by our guiding and training individuals capable of overcoming purifications, and by living in accordance with the daylight age. May we receive greater light and spiritual strength to realize Meishu Sama's ideals in our hearts, our homes, and our communities, so that we become effective instruments of your divine light, bringing happiness to everyone around us. May the new age of happiness and everlasting peace, where love, goodwill, and understanding prevail, soon become a reality.
Let us take this moment to pray along silently for the departed souls of all ancestors, while specifically honoring the ancestors of members of our Moroku Association who have been enshrined at the sacred grounds, the anniversary of their passing being in the month of October.
Ancestors that have been enshrined at the sacred grounds. Matsuto Yamaguchi, Kai Yuri Andrade Ferguson, Barry Wyckoff, Hildegard Anna Obernuber, Jorge Ribaldi, Isabel Roiby Smith, Gilson Zalafon, José Vieira dos Santos, Gilson Zafalon, Jurema Muniz da Silva, Eduardo Verano, Dulce Moreira Galvão, Dana Krakowski, Celina Soares de Azevedo, Cipal Baxter Leary, Elmer G. Russ Sr., Robert Kenneger, Shio Tsuchi, Kane Ito, João Alves Filho, Manuel de Abreu, Antônio da Silva Queiroz, Suzu Okagawa, Maria Tereza de Jesus Ferreira da Costa, Claro Ferreira dos Santos, Antônio Ferreira de Melo, Alberta Cherney, Michi Totoki, Isla Strader Neil, Prapon Probuhan, Lok A. Pipa Tiano Mongro, Aderbal Carvalho de Oliveira, Antônio Vieira Machado Neto, Armando Fitinini, Antônio Pereira Filho, Pascal Dumoulin, Diane Bennett, Joaquim Barbosa Castro, Calixto Morante Moore, Célia Regina Almeida, Kane Ito, Yu Dern Lim, Jerry King, Benjamin Teixeira Monsores, Renato de Moura Ferreira, Rosa Maria Rocha Coelho, Jovelina Apolinária da Silva, Agnes Bilinensky, Gamaliel Gonzalez, Ni Alves Dias, and Aurélio Leão.
Please stand and join us for the Amatu Rito, the prayer of heaven, followed by the local prayer and prayer for ancestors.
Saka amaharani kamsumari masu, kamuromi kamuromi no mikoto mochite, sumemi hoya kamu izanagi no mikoto, tsukushi no mimuka no tachihana no, odo no ahagi harani, Misogi harai tamo toki ni narimaseru. Harai dono o kamitachi moro moro no magagoto sumike gare o. Harai tamae kiyoke tamae no mao sukoto no yoshi o. Amatsu kami kunitsu kami ya oyorosu no kami tachi tomo ni. Amen no fuji koma no mimi furitatete. Hikoshi meseto kashikomi kashikomi mo maosu. Miroku o mikami, mamori tamae, saki hae tamae, Miroku o minami, mabori tamae, sakirai tamae. Koshie miyoya nushi no kami, mamori tamae, sakirai tamae. Oshie miyoya nushi no kami, mamori tamae, sakirai tamae. Kam nagara damaji haemase. Kam nagara damaji haemase. Great God of light, creator and giver of all life, in accordance with your divine will, the long age of night draws to an end. Your radiant divine light, shining ever more brilliantly, awakens the dawn of the glorious age of light, a time long awaited by all humanity. We thank you for guiding us to your divine plan, and for the privilege of channeling and receiving your rain. May our spirits and bodies be illuminated and purified as we live your truth given to us by Meishu Sama. Make us pure and effective instruments of your divine light, so that we may serve you and all those with whom we come in contact. May paradise on earth be realized with health, peace, and prosperity, a reality in our lives. Great God of light, bless and protect us. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan. Pray for our ancestors. Great God of light, bless and protect the souls of our loved ones, whose journey here on earth is over. And as they continue on, great God, encircled in your light, may they be raised to ever finer and higher states of true eternal bliss. Great God of light, bless and protect us all. Radiate our souls with your divine light, so that we may truly become instruments of your great plan.
Please be seated. We will now receive group drawing.
May God and may someone bless you.
Jure is now concluded. Let us listen to one of Meishu Sama's teachings. Pragmatism. I enjoyed studying philosophy when I was a young man. One of the many theories and doctrines I learned about, I found myself drawn to pragmatism as advocated by William James, a famous American philosopher. Pragmatism can be interpreted as the principle of philosophy in action. According to James, if we merely delineate its theories, philosophy is simply a mental exercise. To be of real value, it must be put into daily practice in our lives. This theory seemed interesting to me because it was very practical and expressed a characteristic American spirit. It was a philosophy I resonated with at that time, and I tried to apply it to my work and daily life. As a result, I found pragmatism to be very beneficial. Later in life, when I started the Jore movement, I began to think that we should apply this philosophy to it as well. In other words, every day we should live according to the principle of faith in action. Imagine the benefit we would receive by adapting it to every aspect of our lives. Politicians would be more inclined to work in an honest and just manner. Selflessly, they would run the government in the best interest of the people. As a result, they would gain the trust of the public and everything would function smoothly. Likewise, by incorporating the principles of honesty and integrity in dealing with customers, businessmen would become more trusted. The love and consideration shown to employees would in turn result in more faithful workers. Naturally, businesses would prosper. Educators would show great fortitude in teaching their students, and so would be respected by and have a profound influence upon them. Government staff and company employees would be guided by moral and ethical principles in their work, and as a result would greatly improve their efficiency and deservedly earn promotions. Artists and entertainers would draw their creative inspiration from the highest sources, thereby producing works that emanate strong spiritual vibrations and giving performances with dignity and grace. All who viewed them would be uplifted by their beauty and nobility. Of course, entertainment should not be as structured and formal as education. It can be of greatest value when it is engaging and lighthearted, causing audiences to laugh and feel happy. Regardless of profession or circumstance, a person's fortune and fate can be changed for the better, and he or she can therefore be of greater service to society by living in accord with the principles of faith in action. As you begin to practice spiritual pragmatism, always remember not to be too fanatical in expounding your belief, or you will be regarded with disfavor. This often occurs to overzealous believers. Some people express their religious convictions too strongly, unaware others may find their attitude unpleasant. Ideally, people who believe in God should exhibit no religious fanaticism, acting as normal people do, and be virtuous and respectable, letting their words and deeds show love and consideration for all. In this way, the impression they leave with those they meet will be favorable. The way one expresses and practices faith should show refinement and balance, absent of a dogmatic demeanor. Avoid being overbearing or disrespectful. We sometimes notice followers of certain religions whose actions are so extreme that people wonder if they might be mentally unbalanced. Such people have a tendency to be so caught up in their own points of view that they fail to consider if they might be annoying to others or cause them trouble. And their homes are rarely cheerful. As a result, society begins to question the value of their religious convictions. In such cases, responsibility for their attitudes should go to those in position of leadership in the group. Spiritual leaders should be very careful in this regard. We will now have greetings from the Vice President of Morocco Association, Reverend Wilson Kanji.
Thank you very much. How is everybody doing? I'm doing very well too. Thank you very much for attending this monthly appreciation and ancestor service. We just heard today the name of those spirits that passed away during the month of October. So all those spirits, they are being enshrined at the sacred grounds, not only the sacred grounds in Brazil, but also in Atami, in Japan, at the sacred grounds. So we pray for them, and we continue always wishing them a great evolution in the spiritual realm. So they continue fulfilling their mission over there, together with us. They are not alone, and we are not alone. We are all working together. So that's why we pray for them. And thank you very much for praying together also for world peace and also for all those who are purifying all over the world, people who are going through many kinds of purifications, people who are still suffering with those natural disasters, hurricanes and so forth. So we're still praying for all of them too. As we heard the teaching today, pragmatism. We have to be pragmatic. But one thing that Meisama says in that teaching is faith in action. That means being pragmatic in faith, in spirit. Many of you are very pragmatic doing your own job, your things, which is important. But pragmatism in faith is what you're doing here now, and those also online attending today. I've seen many people there attending. Being pragmatic, that means you are actually doing something that will help your spirit, your ancestors, and your life. So being pragmatic. And being pragmatic is not just about doing the same thing all the time, the same thing. No, it's also doing many other things, always trying to search and find the best way to be of service to God, to make some to humanity. That's being also pragmatic. That means you have to be not just constant doing everything, but also be creative and doing things that are required to do. That's why in our organization we have Jole, nature farming, and the arts. People can do ikebana, and they can do many other things. Being faith is not just coming and praying to God, but also doing, practicing art, and especially trying to be more watchful for what you eat, healthy foods and nature farming, and also taking care of other people. So all this is very important. One thing that I understand is that we have to always try to do the best we can to live life in accordance with God's will, but practicing every day, being better today than yesterday, and being better tomorrow than today. It's what May Summer teaches us. It's not an easy task, but we have to do this. And there is a way to do this. It's when you are very much inspired to achieve some goal. I don't know if some of you know, but this year we are, Simone and I, we are celebrating 30 years of marriage. Okay? 30 years. I don't know how she could put up with that, but she did. 30 years, Emily. Can you believe that? I cannot believe sometimes. It's 30 years, really. Well, Miss, there is a May Summer's teaching. He says that you are really married after being together 30 years. That means we are really married now. 30 years. I don't know if I still got it, but it's not easy. But I remember when we got married and like in faith, you have to have faith, to believe it, and always try to get better. Not because you have found your soulmate and you are in love with each other, you have that passion, that means you already know each other. No, there are many things you're beginning to know who your partner, who the person you are with. So it takes many years, right, to really understand. So, and I remember when I just got married, and then after I think 2-3 years, and we had an argument, and I was like, oh, I don't believe she's like that. I was like, oh, she doesn't like me anymore. I don't know. So I called my mother and I asked her, well, I have to ask you. She was already over 25, 27 years of marriage with my father. Mom, how did you do it? 27 years together with my father? How did you do that? What's the secret? Is there? How is it? And then she told me something very simple. She said, well, I don't know, but I think it's because when I'm mad, when I'm upset, he's calm and he doesn't complain. He shut up. He doesn't talk. And when he's upset, I don't say anything. I just stay quiet. I don't say. So I think the best way for us was to respect when one is not happy and upset. I respect. I think you should do the same. I said, okay, thank you very much. I'll try that. But it's a 30 years. And the more we practice being together with each other, the more we find out how much we are connected together. So, and my wife is still very beautiful. I'm very happy, and I hope she finds me still handsome. But why am I saying all this? It's because it's, as you may think that your life is, you don't have anything more to do, but you always have something to do, to improve, and to feel better. And like May Sama says, the more you taste the flavor of rice, the more you begin to find it delicious. It's you have to be always trying to improve yourself. And in faith is the same thing. We have to understand that we represent, and when we represent our ancestors in our communities and our work, we have to just keep doing what we are doing every time. And there will always be time to rest, of course, but we can rest when we go to the spiritual realm. We can rest more, but here we can do the best we can, to improve our life. Not talking about coming to the Joy Center and doing the work. No, it's at home, at work, always believing that you can be better, you can do better. No? So that's why when I met my wife was uh, 1991, and I just came from Japan in 1991. I met her 3 months, then I came to America and I stayed here for 3 years. And we waited for 3 years to get married. And once we had that hope that one day we're gonna get together, that made us keep on going. So I believe you all have some kind of hope, some dreams that you really want to achieve, and you have to hang on to that dream. Right now, our goal is to build sacred grounds in North America. We will construct sacred grounds in North America, paradise on earth, prototypes of paradise here in North America. Believe it or not, but it will happen. And I remember when I read about Meishu Sama, he gathered, when he just started everything, he gathered 49, was a 48 or 49 people gathered together like this, in this room like this. And then he told everybody, and at that time, Japan was still in a war and suffering, all those disasters in Japan was ruined. And Meishu Sama said, we are going to build prototypes of paradise on earth, and we are going to save the world. And people look at each other like, how? Look at us. And he said, we are going to do this. And exactly what happened. Everything changed. Japan became a really strong, powerful, the garden of the world. And we did build 3 sacred grounds at that time. And when everything was so difficult. But one thing I learned that I'd like today to share with you, that everything is about the spirit. We build everything in this spiritual realm. That means whatever we do, even though you don't see it physically happening, but as you dedicate, as you give Jorei and you pray and you serve and you come all the way far away for the service and you help someone, you go visit someone at the hospital, as you change your spirit condition, everything begins to materialize later. So the work is spiritual. What we are doing here, we are building paradise on earth in this spiritual realm. You are building your home, your family in the spiritual realm. Like one reverend one day told me, he said, yeah, I know you want to have your home and your family. Don't worry, as you dedicate, you are creating that family in the spiritual realm. So whatever we are doing here, we are creating in the spiritual realm. But for that, we need to eliminate those spiritual clouds that we have. So that's why we dedicate. I have 2 teachings that I would like to share with you today that talks about that. Because one thing that we are really worrying, many people are worried, is about disease, getting sick. Nobody wants to get sick. And sickness is the first thing that Meisama talks about, how important it is to eliminate from our lives. So, Meisama talks about illness. And he says, how foolish it is to try to cure illness without really knowing the true spiritual cause. How foolish. And then he says, illness is a cleansing action, a purification of one's spiritual body, one of God's wondrous blessings. Simple. And also, Meisama says the best way for you to rejuvenate and to have a good health is through illness. How? As you get sick, that means your body is really working. That means it's trying to eliminate those toxins. So we don't have to fear illness. You're talking about illness. We're not talking about car accident, you broke a leg or something. This is a different story. We are not against science at all. On the contrary, we work together with science. This is important for you to understand. And then maybe someone says, because a human being consists of two things, spirit and body. Since the law of the spiritual preceding the physical is a universal law, the spirit is of primary importance, while the body is actually secondary. The spirit should be transparent and pure, as in its original state. But when toxins occur in the physical body, they are reflected on the spiritual body as clouds. These clouds, or solid spots on the spirit, are the true cause of illness. Once these opaque spots are removed, illness is healed. That's where comes Jorei. Amazing. I know many people cannot believe that after receiving 3, 4, 5, 10 Joreis, they begin to feel better, and many times the disease disappears. And many of you have experiences. Even now we have this lay leader level 1, 2, and 3, and we are asking them to write their own faith experiences. And you will hear those experiences, amazing testimonies of how their life changed with Jorei, because Jorei helped to eliminate those spiritual clouds. And then someone says, this is the principle behind Jorei, transmitting divine light to clear away one's spiritual clouds. And it is true healing. It's a true healing. The spiritual purification of clouds results in a physical purification of the toxins, which must be dissolved and eliminated. This process is the physical body complemented by discomfort and pain. So when you are eliminating all those toxins, you feel uncomfortable and you feel pain, because the toxins, when the toxins are moving, they touch the nerves inside, and then you feel uncomfortable, and pain. But that's why we call illness. But illness is only a symptom appearing on the surface, and the true cause is inside the spiritual clouds. Those of you serving God's work should understand that clouds on the spiritual body are the cause of illness. So try your best to purify it. And actually, I think by naturally you dedicating, it becomes purified. Sometimes it's better don't worry about whatever symptoms you have, just dedicate and you see changes happening. Maybe someone says also, through my illness, I was led to this divine work. I became a humble instrument in God's plan. How lucky I am. We are giving life, priceless life, to serve God's cause. We may sometimes wonder then why we are afflicted with illness and misery. Human beings are born in this physical realm with the mission of creating an ideal world. This is God's plan. So when we function in harmony with the plan, we can live and work most happily, in perfect health. This is an eternal, immutable law. However, no individual is free from spiritual clouds that are passed from generation to generation. So that's another important thing. It's not just your spiritual clouds. Also, you have your ancestors' spiritual clouds. They are passed on from generation to generation. So sometimes you go through a purification, you don't know the cause, but you understand that it's not just the toxins or the clouds that you created in this world, in this life, but you also can inherit many of those spiritual clouds. And Meshach Sama says, in addition, people extensively introduce dangerous substances into their bodies. Those lots of medicines sometimes people have to take, and those junk foods and stuff. There are a lot of chemicals, things. So as a result, they sometimes become more vulnerable. We become more vulnerable to illness. However, it would be limiting to the advancing of God's plan. If his workers means all of us, that it would be limiting if we were unable to continue to serve due to illness. So it's not good for God and may some to have us feeling bad and illness, sick. So God wants to help us to get better. Yeah? If you lose your job, if you become sick, or if you have conflict, it's no good for the divine work. So as long as you are useful to this humanity, God and may he will take care of you always. Now, you lost a job, he will give you a job. It will happen. You become sick, he will take care of your sickness. So as long as you are always someone that God says, well, I need him, I need you, you're gonna be okay. I know sometimes we got worry about it, but worry is not a good thing. We have to trust and leave it in God's hands and continue doing our work. Be pragmatic. So, take care of our spiritual and physical condition and have also gratitude. As Mishama wrote in the poem to finish, Mishama says, gratitude. How grateful I am. God blesses me with good health, and he grants me the honor of channeling divine light for the healing of others. The words spoken or written can describe the great blessing God has given me. How can I praise him enough for all this happiness? I cursed all the world and I blamed others for my difficulties. But now all the negativity in my mind is gone. And it is very clear. That's Meisama saying. So I believe we can do the same thing. We don't curse the world. We don't blame others. We just try to have our minds free and let's do the work that has to be done. I'd like to thank you very much and please celebrate with me and my wife Simone the 30 years that we're gonna be celebrating this whole year until next year, September, because we were, because September 17th was when we had 30 years. But thank you very much and you all have a wonderful day. Let's challenge already. Okay? Thank you. Thank you all those online.
This concludes our service today. Thank you very much for joining us. We wish you a blessed day.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.